Hi guys, my name is Antonio Seri, I am an Italian motion designer, and I am pleased to present this tutorial I made for the members of VFX. I show you a preview of the final tutorial will be created. As you can see, I was very inspired by the legendary flying logo of Tron Legacy. Obviously everything we'll discuss in this tutorial is purely educational materials, to show one of many methods used to make a flying logo in this style, and the final effect is really cool. We'll proceed in two parts. The first part, we'll see the modeling and animation 3D logo in Cinema 4D. In the second part, we will create the scene, where we will compositing in After Effects, 3D logo, audio files, and the ending with the mythical neon cycles for closing of our animation. The members of VFX will find all the project files step by step, to realize and understand this tutorial in all its phases. I do a little introduction. As a child, I was always fascinated the world of Tron, and the Tron logo. So, I redesigned the font, as a reference using only the letters of the official Tron Legacy logo. If you are interested, you can buy the font Tron 2, directly from www.crrntn.com. However, in the folder VFX Evolution Logo, you will find a file, Logo VFX Evolution FH11. In this file, the logo is already in vector paths, and we will need to create this tutorial. The workspace size is 1280 x 533 pixels, with the reference image incorporated, base riv JPG and previously reworked in Photoshop. If you purchase and install the font, you just write VFX Tiny, and assign the Tron 2 font. You can use the full character or thread, as in the style of the official trailer. But written for Evolution text, I used the font Helvetica Light. To get an idea, in advance of the result you want with 3D, I used the extrude tool in freehand. I set the vanishing point downwards, the depth and the lights. So we get the idea of the work to be done in the 3D program. But if you are experienced using 3D software, this step can be bypassed. To do this, simply turn off the base and the impact 3D level. Activate the all written. We need to have all traces of letters, which must be converted into splines, and export all files as Adobe Illustrator 7. And activate the check only selected objects. This we had already done. Therefore no need to save. You can import vector logo VFX within Cinema 4D in two ways. The first is File, Merge, and selecting File folder AETUT Logo Evolution. The file Logo VFX Evolution.I. In this case, the control panel indicates the scale of import. Confirm by clicking OK. So, we imported the logo VFX Evolution. Or, you can use the logo file VFX Evolution 00 inside the folder Cinema 4D, step by step. This file, which I created earlier, has already set all the correct parameters for the final rendering that we will achieve the end of our work. But above all, what is very important, I have already positioned, in three-dimensional space, VFX Evolution logo, as we saw in storyboard of freehand. One of the advantages of importing all the vector paths by an external program like Freehand or Adobe Illustrator, is that every track reference does not lose its pivot axis. In this case, it is very useful, because during the modeling with NURBS extrude tool, we have a reference to position the pivot correctly. Obviously, this will allow us, through the animation, you can rotate and place each letter, or parts of the letters, in a direct and correct. Extrude NURBS values should be set only once, after which it will duplicate it and apply on all other letters or parts of letters. The depth is 170 meters. The extrude's NURBS has an axial pivot to center stage, corresponding to these coordinates x, y and z. But our path has different coordinates, which correspond to these. Obviously, we must ensure that the coordinates are the same as the pivot of the axial path. The only particular, do not forget this step, is that the depth of the object is 170. We must ensure that the extrusion pivot axial corresponds to half of the object. Operation will be repeated for all extrude NURBS of the other letters. We show the procedure more simple and straightforward, to apply the extrude NURBS. With the change to its axial center pivot, each letter or part the letter. Once duplicated, we delete the duplicate path. This extrude NURBS will match this. As we apply it on a new path, in this case is the lower part of E, we have to change the pivot extrusion before entering the path. Let the change tool pivot. Copy and paste the coordinates into the extrusion duplicate. After you do this operation, restore the position, and insert the path of the letter inside extrude. We achieved a correct step, which will be repeated on every letter, or part of the letter, that makes up part of the logo VFX evolution. It is a fairly simple work that will require a couple of minutes, but give you many advantages, especially during the animation. After inserting correctly extrude NURBS, all the letters and parts of letters, but more importantly after placing the pivot in its axial center, must rename all levels, so they can be recognized immediately and easily. For example, the letter A will be renamed to extrude A. In the case of E letter, which consists of two parts, we can rename the first part in extrude EA, and the second part in extrude EB. This will allow us to speed during animation, inserting a keyframe, and select the level precisely, and make changes. OK, completed. Entering the name at every level, we complete the design of the logo. With the insertion of the instrument extrude NURBS also on the evolution text. Also, rename this layer in extrude evolution. We set the parameters. In this case, the only parameter to set, the depth is 3 meters. If we make a first rendering, we see the result. Let the inclusion of a camera. The procedure is very simple. We are on the perspective view, and select a new camera. We click on the camera created. We set the parameters. The first value to be set is the depth that will take these values. The target distance is 3,936,883 meters. Then we set the parameters of the coordinates. The first coordinate is x, 0.001. The second is y, 482.303. The third is z, less 2334.424. So, we set the camera display. Let's rendering. If you performed all the steps we have achieved so far, we can move on to creating materials for the logo, VFX evolution. But, if you had some difficulties, you open in the folder C4D files step by step, the file logo VFX evolution number 01, which I have prepared, with the correct location of the camera. Go to the next step of the tutorial. Now, we move to the creation of materials to be assigned to the logo VFX. We go to File, New Material, the panel only activate Basic, Color, Reflection and Alpha. In the color panel, go to set the RGB values by 86, 218, 255. After, in the reflection panel, setting brightness value to 17. And, in the alpha panel, activated invert, and disables alpha image. Apply the backlight effect. Click on the green square. To change color, we bring the value from 150 to 191. And confirm, OK. Let the creation of the second material. In the second material, in the basic menu, activated only luminance. In the luminance panel, insert on RGB value, with the following parameters, 54, 204, 255. The brightness is 44. And we apply a Fresnel texture. By the way, mix mode, to add. To create the final material. In the basic menu, activate specular and color. In the color panel, we set the RGB color values, 110, 240, 255. The value of brightness is 140. Specular is set by default. Once created the three materials, we can apply these to the extrusion of all the letters and parts of letters. Again, we apply one, then repeat the operation on all the other extruded letters. Then insert the first material on the A letter. Immediately after, the drag second material, always on the same letter. Selecting the second material, on the selection line, write C1, so, the second material, will be added, only in front caps. If we repeat this operation, and we put on the selection line, the value C2, will insert the material even in the back of the letter. If we do a rendering, we see the results stuck. After this step, on the A letter, select the three materials, and holding down the Ctrl key, or Command key on the Mac, we can drag materials all the other letters. We apply the same characteristics as the A letter to the other. If we try to render, we can evaluate the result. To finish, we apply the third material on the written evolution. The lighting system that I studied for this project consists a total number of 3 Omni-type lights, divided into one front, one at the base, and then one behind it all. Insert the first light and rename front illumination. We set the values Intensity is 71. And we set the coordinates. X is 0. Y is 925.804. Y is less 925.804. Z is less 3372.121. Duplicate the light you just created. Rename the new light back illumination. And we set the values. Intensity is 72. And position in space with the coordinates. X is 0. Y is 2228.92. Z is 997,102. Duplicate this last light and rename bottom illumination. In the general panel, we set the intensity. The value is 152. And coordinates. X is 0. Y is less 181.218. Z is 0. Okay, let's try to render. And already we see the result of our project. We check if the coordinates were entered correctly. Sorry. The value is 2228.92. The result is also visible in the preview and the rendered image. Okay, then we can proceed with the animation of the letters and parts of letters. If you had problems with the steps, do not worry, you can always compare your work with the file logo VFX Evolution number 2. To proceed successfully, we must take into account the duration of the original animation, which according to my calculations, is approximately 582 frames. But, specifically, the logo VFX animation should last about 128 frames. To insert a keyframe on all letters and parts of letters, we place timeline in frame 30, select all extrudes levels, and activate the column of the position and rotation. Holding down the Ctrl key, and insert the keyframe all the letters in this position. Let's move the timeline on frame 158. And repeat the same keyframe procedure positioning. In this way, we have set a departure and an arrival from frame 30 to frame 158. This will allow us, through the animation panel. You can make changes on every letter, or the letter as you can work directly on this panel. we are going to change only the parameters of position and rotation associated in the frame 30. This way you can work very quickly. Extrude to begin work on the A letter. We will modify the parameters according to the scheme proposed by me. Extrude A parameters are: X position is less 120.964. Y position is 500.962. Z position is less 1929.904. H rotation is 83. P rotation is 142. B rotation is 125. As you can see, yellow makes us understand that the frames can be changed, and which have not been confirmed. To confirm them, holding down the Ctrl key, go to click on each item changed. We can see the result. Extrude EA parameters are: X position is less 326.306. Y position is 466.723. Z position is less 2287.254. H rotation is less 65. P rotation is 148. B rotation is less 126. Again, we will confirm the values entered. Extrude EB parameters are: X position is less 12.558. Y position is 755.102. Z position is less 1590.034. H rotation is 85. P rotation is 146. B rotation is less 226. We confirm the frames and verify the result. Extrude T1A parameters are: X position is 142.601. Y position is 477.129. Z position is less 2505.073. H rotation is 78. P rotation is less 117. B rotation is less 180. Confirm. Extrude T1B parameters are: X position is 6.604. Y position is 481.935. Z position is less 268.086. Extrude U parameters are: X position is 133.803. Y position is 684.103. Z position is less 1904.187. H rotation is 45. P rotation is 90. B rotation is 135. Confirm. Extrude T2 parameters are: X position is less 15.96. Y position is 496.632. Z position is less 1676.905. H rotation is 272. P rotation is less 37. B rotation is 150. Confirm keyframe. Extrude T2B parameters are: X position is 557.14. Y position is 663.764. Z position is less 1673.16. H rotation is 38. P rotation is less 37. B rotation is 150. Confirm. Extrude SB parameters are: X position is 290.443. Y position is 776.204. Z position is less 1893.646. Extrude SA parameters are: X position is less 282.674. Y position is 596.218. Z position is less 2415.222. H rotation is 66. P rotation is 61. B rotation is 180. Confirm keyframe. See, this animation moves all the letters and parts of letters together. Obviously, to make things more interesting, but above all, more casual, we must ensure that the interval between frames 30 and 158, each letter or parts of letters, move with inputs different time and different times. We must make the overall effect more random. I assure you that the end result will be truly fabulous. If you had difficulty in this step, you can always open the file number 03 in the Cinema 4D folder. Extrude EA. Start from 71 frame. And arrives at frame 154. Extrude T1B. Start from 30 frame, and arrives at frame 154. And arrives at frame 154. Extrude T2A. Start from 30 frame, and arrives at frame 120. And arrives at frame 120. Extrude T2B. Start from 70 frame. Start from 40 frame. And arrives at frame 140. Extrude SA. Start from 70 frame. A. And we can see the animation with the random effect. In next step, when he animates the camera, because we understand the movements of the letters, or parts of letters. Before you animate the camera, we add 2 special frames in Extrude T1B, and Extrude SA. The first special frame is inserted in 40 frame on Extrude T1B. Go to the panel coordinate and modify this parameters. X position is less 27.603. Y position is 520.975. Z position is less 320.518. Rotation is 30.245 and 9.934. Confirm the inserted frames and check your entries. The same procedure should be done in Extrude SA, but the special frame corresponds to the number 92. We bring the timeline to 92, click on Extrude SA, and modify the parameters. X position is less 68.248. Y position is 590.2. Z position is less 2154.26. No rotation. Confirm and verify the changes. If you had difficulty in this step, you can always open in the Cinema 4D folder, step by step, the file, Logo VFX Evolution, number 04. For animation of the camera, insert keyframes, position and rotation, in 4 frames of the timeline. 21 frame, 72 frame, 300 frame and finally, in 552 frame. Here is our layout, from animation to standard, and insert keyframes in the camera. Come on 21 frame. Click on the camera. And we set keyframes, for position and rotation. Let's move, on 72 frame, we repeat, the same step. Then go, to 300 frame. And finally, insert keyframes, to frame 552. Last amended the coordinates of the frame 21. X position is 0. Y position is 485.67. Z position is less 18.522. H rotation is 0. P rotation is 12. B rotation is less 12. Confirm keyframes, and proceed with the frame 72. Y position is 502.159. Z position is less 2097.282. Does not affect the coordinates of the rotation. Confirm keyframe. Go to frame 300. Here, we do not change the X position. Y position is 485.67. Z position is less 2092.266. Never mind the coordinates of the rotation. And finally we go to frame 552. Y position 485.67. Z position is less 2072.266. Here, we do not change the keyframes rotation. We see, finally, the complete effect of animation of letters and camera. Wow, fabulous, very, very cool. As I said previously, the inclusion of special frame was used to coincide in the central camera with the extrude T1B. For the special frame for Extrude SA, I wanted to create a sense of the letter that touches on the camera and closes the animation. To complete this animation sequence, we have to recreate the neon effect that shuts down intermittently. To make this interesting effect, we make sure that the letters are disabled, starting from the outside inwards. In our case, starting from a letter up to the U letter. To simplify this operation, we can directly implement in Cinema 4D Display Tag tool. First, we select all layers letter, and with right mouse button, to go to Cinema 4D Tags. Displays. This tool allows you to create fades. In this case, we need a neon effect of intermittent type. The sequence in all the letters, we make from 260 frame, close to everything within the 305 frames. Let's go to 260 frame. We click on the instrument display to extrude and check use visibility. This value is 100 by default. Insert keyframe. We move to 3 frames and insert new value 0. Confirm keyframes. We move to 266 frame. Insert new value 80. Insert keyframes. Other 3 frame. Value 0. Confirm. 272 frame. Value 50. Insert. 275. Value 0. 278. Value 30. Keyframe. And finally 281. Value 0. Confirm. In this way, we created the intermittency effect, which will the transition from 100 to 0. The same sequence also noted on 2 parts of the S letter, starting from 264 frame. Speeds up the videos, because this operation is long. We continue later, the 2 parts of E letter, starting from 270 frame. Then, the 2 parts of T2 letter, starting from frame 276. The penultimate letter is T1, starting from 282 frame. For close neon intermittence animation, for the sequence of U letter, using a sequence consisting of 4 frames, with the following values. 100. 0. 80. 0. As we can see, starting from frame 260 to 305 closing, we created the intermittence effect. Monitored by the panel animation, if we made all the steps correctly. If you encounter difficulties in performing these steps, you can always open the file, number 05, in the Cinema 4D Files folder, step by step. Before the final draft of our project, you must enter in Extrude Text Evolution. Cinema 4D tags. The tags, compositing. Check off Scene by Camera. So while rendering, the text evolution will be off. I will explain later why. Finally, if we open the file logo VFX evolution number 06, you get the whole sequence animation, where I created an intermittence cross between the logo VFX and my logo, with the words powered by, and my link, crrntn.com. The intermittently effect on the logo CRRNTN is the same used for the logo VFX, but the reverse sequence. We start from 0, then we apply the 35, 0, 50, 0, 80, 0, 100. So, the intermittently cross effect by my logo disappears, while appears the VFX logo. The intermittently powered by word, start by 300 frame. The CRR logo, on 305 frame. Then, the link crrntn.com, in frame 312. It all ends with a crossfade, the three elements, which starts from 490 frame to 552 frame. At this point, we are ready for final rendering. Open the render settings, and set the sequence of frames to achieve, starting from 30 frame to 582. Save as QuickTime Movie, we apply an alpha channel and 24-bit dithering. Most importantly, in the panel anti-aliasing, we must set quality, best, and filter, animation. This will allow us to have a very high quality movie. We're going to create two renderings. The first with the VFX logo without text evolution, and the second with the text evolution. Just toggle, in compositing tag, scene by camera. We will then have an animation reference of text evolution in After Effects. Because the evolution text with the intermittency effect is created inside After Effects, so we have an exact reference to Cinema 4D. The first part is complete. The result of rendering the AHITS logo without written evolution is this. I ended the first part of this tutorial. I hope that has been to your liking. Next, in the second part, I will show you how to make the scenery of Tron Legacy to achieve compositing of 3D render logo, audio, and closure with the legendary neon motorcycle. Greetings from Antonio Seri, and a special thanks to AHITS.com. And next.